Hello, everybody. Good morning. Cody, Oberion, Night Trap. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in, everybody. Yeah, Horse Heresy more like Gundam Warrior. Is that what Gundams look like? I don't know. We'll have to get some opinion, some expert analysis on the Gundam versus 30K scene happening. Oberion, welcome in. T Slayer, how you doing, man? How you doing? Yeah, someone posted the leak in the Discord last night. I was like, what? It was Aslan. So credit to Aslan. Yep, all kinds of leaks. Lots of stuff to talk about. Games Workshop, they did update the Heresy website. They had some pretty funny updates. They're just making fun of the camera work. The shoddy out of focus cameras. It's pretty funny. My Draw, what's up? Okay, Throbbing Butterstick, welcome. What a name. I don't remember that name. How you doing? Alright, guys. We're gonna paint Kurz. Kurz is silver right now. All silver. Not everything. We got some other stuff. It's good in the painting hood. Yeah, we got stuff going on. What's up? Juicy Towel. Oh, okay, I remember Juicy Towelette. Okay. Just with all the creative names. Great to hear. Well, here's what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to paint Conrad Kurz today. Not all of Conrad Kurz today, but we're going to start work on Conrad Kurz. And we're going to talk about Horus Heresy leaks and potential info. And you guys are going to spend this whole time scouring the internet for more potential leaks and info. And if you find something, you're going to share it. Such as rules leaks, because that's what I'm really interested in, are the leaked rules. You know, the set's the set. We got it. It looks all right. I am not like tripping over myself, freaking out over how cool everything is, because some stuff I'm not like a big fan of Saturnine Terminators. The Dreadnought looks okay. Mark II isn't my most favorite armor, however. I'm gonna buy the box set, guys. I'm gonna get it. Going to happen. New project. Working on stripping down. I don't know what that is. Repainted all sorts of flaws and brushstrokes. Okay, nice. Nothing wrong with going back to fix up a mini. Yeah, I don't care much for the Saturnine Terminators. I'm curious how they play, but I also understand that in Horus Heresy, you don't have to play specific things. So, and I don't play Horus Heresy to be good at the game. So, if they're broken and overpowered, or even just really good, like I might bring them occasionally if it seems like thematically appropriate or cool, but you know, that's about it. So trying to add some depth into this mini. So we did some silver with some zenithal of a brighter silver, and now I'm taking down a thin down black wash. This is Pro Acryl Wash thinned down with water, which actually has worked really well on thinning this wash down. I'm actually surprised. I don't think I've ever thinned this stuff down with water. It might be the best I have ever seen this stuff thinned. Unprimed pewter model. He does. Yeah, he does. We're going for a metallic blue armor look. And the way we're going to do that is by using transparent paints over silver. But first, I'm going to really highlight up this this silver, so then we have minimal work to do when the blue actually goes on the mini. So it's almost like a more time-consuming slap chop, honestly, if you want to call it that. Unnecessary change. Yes and no, my draw. 110 scale model. Okay. Oh, cool. All right. Is that like an anime or something? I'm not familiar with the context. I also am not super familiar with like anime things. But cool though. No, it's cool. It's cool. You got a project and you got something working. You're gonna work for your takes on third edition. Yes, I do have takes on third edition, and I will tell you guys. So yesterday, well, Sunday night, and I'm gonna get to your comment, Mydra. I want to talk about this, but Saturday looks so stupid, and I love that. Yeah. Sunday night I was streaming, and people brought up the idea that I should just like do a podcast episode. With my takes on what the rumors mean and the Heresy website and all the current rumors, and kind of consolidate things and tell people my thoughts and stuff. So Zendral and I did that as like a part one. We went through the Horus Heresy website and everything they had posted through yesterday. And then we basically broke down like what each thing could mean. And that was it. That's all we had time for, really. Zen had a meeting, so we didn't have time to like go into the rest of things. But we got a little half-hour episode. If you're a free member of the Patreon, you have access to that podcast. All right, so you get some speculation, a little bit of speculation, a little bit of like interpretation of what the Heresy stuff is. Now, we did not get to current like rumors from outside sources or what the actual box contents could be, but we did talk about some things. And we made it that far. Then last night happened, and the whole box set leaked. So, there's lots of stuff confirmed and everything in that leak that we don't need to discuss again. But I think we're going to do another episode very soon, maybe even today, to try to get out tonight or early tomorrow. To talk about the contents of the box and then what potential things maybe third edition needs. And a lot of people are unhappy with third edition being third edition because people are tired of the like 3-year cycle churn thing. People don't like that. Justifiably so. It's an excuse just to charge more money for books and all of that. I will say that there is a chance that third edition Heresy is going to be just like an updated second edition. The specialist games have seemed to do that a lot more than things like 40K or Age of Sigmar. So my biggest hope is that it doesn't alter the rules too much, that they're correcting. They didn't expect 2.0 to be this big. And so they're kind of doing like housekeeping in a way that they can say, hey, we're making more money on this. So GW, please give us more, funding and scope to do what we need to do. I don't mind buying a big rule book every 3 or 4 years. I know as silly as that sounds, like I like these books. If the rules are going to improve and like fix mistakes and not just completely overhaul everything, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to buy books, I don't want a situation where I'm buying a book for a faction, like an Imperial Guard Codex, and then 2 months later the new edition comes out that completely invalidates the Codex. That is what I want to see avoided, and Heresy hasn't had a book released in a while, so as far as like my specific want in that case, I think we're good. They didn't do what Middle-earth did and released a source book 2 months before the new edition came and invalidated the source book. So yeah, I would like to see an update. I know people don't like the edition churn, and people talk about how like, yeah, the edition's fine, second edition's fine, and I love second edition Horus Heresy, but I think I can admit that second edition Heresy has a ton of issues. And one of the reasons that it stays fun for a lot of people is because there's a lot of community policing in it, which, it's a GW game. That's necessary, right? And people aren't trying to be tryhards in the game. We're not doing competitive Heresy, that kind of thing. But there is a lot of balance issues in the game, and a lot of weird mistakes that just kind of made it through the final rules as written for second edition. So hopefully it is like a giant errata FAQ on second, and we can maintain, you know, the vast majority of what makes the Heresy game cool. Blemishes, waiting for it to arrive. Okay, cool, Barian. Yeah, box appears to have weapon upgrade. Yeah, it's disintegrators. It says it has 2 disintegrator weapon sets. Funny thing, if you look really closely at the back of the box, there is a disintegrator melee weapon that one of the Salamander's Marines has. It looks like a power fist, but it's painted in different colors, and it looks like it could be some kind of thing related to the disintegrator weapons. Yeah, Heresy is definitely a lot more for fans. It's for the old people, you know. I will admit it's for the old people. Wandering Picked, welcome in. Alright, put a wash on Kurz. I might do a little more of a wash, just pushing some more into recesses, but we got a nice mini. He's looking very much like a pewter mini. I do have some other things base coated. We got Skin Cloak, the base coat, and some magenta. New rules look good to the community. I'm in. Saturday Night stuff isn't my favorite, but old school Iron Warriors, yeah. What's up, Blue? How you doing? What's going on, man? My local group already decided that if we don't like if the 3rd edition rules are bad or too much of a change, we're just gonna stick with the 2nd edition. However, who's to say one person doesn't like it and someone else does, you know, and everything just gets split. But I think people that play Heresy want a very particular type of game, and if GW is moving that too much, then yeah, we'll figure that out. Raja, what's going on? Not really old, but I prefer Heresy's rule set to 40k. Yeah, Heresy rule set's definitely based on more like, let's have fun with Warhammer, and let's embrace the craziness, and not so much like, these are game pieces meant to play a game. Yeah. I'm also super tired, guys. I was going to go to bed early, and then as I was laying in bed, I saw that Aslan Grants posted the leaked pictures of the box sets, and I was like, oh no, I'm up for another 2.5 hours now. The Great Warhammer Schism. Yeah, basically. That might be what happens. That might be it. Great Crusade area equipment. That'd be really cool. Yeah. Just do a new Legion with the new edition. See, Yeah, good conversations, right, Avelios? Yeah. It's exciting regardless, right? I'm apprehensive about it. Because change is always scary, you know. The devil you know as opposed to the devil you don't, right? But, yeah, I feel like, you know, if I don't like it, I could play the old edition. If I don't like it, I could play old 40k with Avelios some more. You know, it's always like, if I do like it, I'll be happy to jump in and keep going. Oh, cool. Secret Project's almost done. Nice, man. Nice. Freedom that 2nd edition had. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, I saw that set, and, I was like, man, like these minis don't fit my Thousand Suns too much. I was like, maybe, like, should I just start a new Legion with 3rd edition? Like, what would I do? I'd probably do Salamanders. Or I want something that's more, like, generic if I were to start a new Legion. But it's also like, well, maybe they would fit my Thousand Suns, and they might work. You know, and it's not like I'm making an army of Saturnine Terminators. You know, it's a Dreadnought, 6 Saturnine, a weird Praetor that I can convert up. And then the Mark II, I have tons of 3D print bits for Mark II Marines. Yeah, it'd be nice to have some other marks. So, okay, Avelios, I saw this comment. It is not a tarantula. So they're very specific on what it is. It's called an Arachne Quad Accelerator Platform. It is a lot bigger than a Tarantula. A lot bigger. Those are actually two Sakaran accelerator autocannon guns, like stacked on each other. Yep. Yeah, I don't know if the leak. I don't think the leak was intentional, honestly. I'm glad it leaked. Part of the reason I'm glad it leaked is because the GW website, the Horus Heresy website, was going to get real old real quick. Yeah, Velios. Hey, it might be available for Solar Aux, but they don't have accelerated autocannons in any of their armies, so maybe not. Paint him as Death Guard. Yeah, if I happen to do a second Legion, it would be Loyalists, though. So it'd be like Imperial Fists, Ultramarines, Salamanders, something more like standard focus that I wouldn't do a lot of like printing or conversions. I would want to use the parts in the box more, and not so much like rely on 3D printing to make my minis look like my Legion. Thousand Suns mini Loyalist Alpha Legion. Yeah, no, I'm not super interested in Alpha Legion. Whip photo Rubric Marine. Yeah, you did post the Rubric Marine. No, dude, it looks great. What colors did you use for the ghostly blue? It looks like Hexwraith Flame with highlights. But your gold is on point, and I love the ghostly idea, like the ghostly color scheme of it. It's fantastic looking, Anthony. No, it's great looking mini. If you do Imperial Fist, I'll crash out with a positive connotation. Okay. Zendral would kill me if I painted Imperial Fist. He would probably come over and burn my house down, guys. New edition, new Legion, yeah. But I kind of want the set just to, like, you gotta bulk out the Thousand Suns more, right? I'm sure some of these weapons would be fun, and I really don't want to buy 2 of these sets. So, I know. If I were to be able to get a second Age of Darkness box before the edition churned, I would probably do something different with it. I would start a different Legion with that set, but we don't have that. Yes, I would. Yep, see, Zen's on YouTube, and he heard me. He heard it the whole time. Gotta do Space Wolves so they stare at each other in eternal hatred. I would never do Iron Hands. I would make a Space Wolf force before I did Iron Hands. That is how much I despise Iron Hands. Bright pale green. Okay, prismatic blue. Gotcha. Yeah, bright pale green. Yep, that makes sense. This color. Yep. Be the change you want to see. Yeah. Would you buy 3 wolves? I mean, I would have. Doesn't that come in the box sets with Space Wolves or something? Like you order the Space Wolf transfer sheet, and they give you like wolves howling at the moon, like a T-shirt. Just letting this wash dry. Being real cool. Yeah, we got silver. We did the base. I base coated the base in was it drab brown? Yeah, drab brown. But they're looking good so far. These big base pieces. And he's gonna sit like right here is where he sits on the base. His feet. Admech, but there's a little lore for him. Yeah, they're just the bits you read about Iron Hands. They're like, yes, and they're masters of warfare. They got in their tanks and slowly rolled toward the enemy. Like this, that's what you guys do. That's it. Like they have like some of the highest casualties among any of the legions. Like they just, Ferris seems kind of like he's as a tool. Yeah, I'm not. I really don't like Iron Hands. Also, like I said, the one Iron Hands player I ever played against is the one person I will never play against in our Heresy group. I will never play again. So 30k White Scars. Yeah, White Scars are really cool, but I would want something more generic. So like White Scars, it's like I've never played against you, Hobby ADHD. I'm sure you're a wonderful opponent, and I would love to play a game against you if the opportunity ever came up. But my one experience with playing against Iron Hands was never again. So when I think of Iron Hands, I think of this guy, and it's first Gundam Kid. My draw. Oh, cool. They're fun. They're fun to assemble. Yeah. The plasma bikes are ridiculous. Yeah, 30k Dark Angels are another one. We have a lot of Dark Angels players in our group, though, so, like, I wouldn't want to step on any toes. Yeah, salamanders are really cool. And my son loves salamanders. And I had thought about, I had actually talked to my son about, like, hey, would you want to, like, collect a legion together? You know, we could both paint the minis, and we could make a big salamanders army, and then we could play with them and stuff. And he thought that was a really cool idea, but he also kind of burns out real quick when it comes to any kind of project like that because he's 8 years old. But, yeah, it looks good. It's cool. It's Isfan. Coughs and Caliban. Yeah. No, I think this set that I get, I think it's gonna stay Thousand Suns. And I think you guys might get. I'm going to try to be like the first person. I'm sure plenty of people have, and someone's going to paint 1,000 Suns. But I'm going to try to paint these on stream. I want to paint a lot of 1,000 Suns. I think the 40 Mark IIs are going to be fun. What I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to paint maybe 20 of them as just tacticals. So I have some variety with tacticals. I want to make a veteran squad. And I want to do extras as like unit leaders and augury scanners and vexillas and stuff like that. So I'll have extras for those squads so they can kind of get kitted out and how they do. I think that's what I'll do. I have plenty of Mark II heads, but I might stick with some. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about the Mark II. I don't like Mark II. The pictures they show of the Mark II actually look really good. So the mental gymnastics to justify. No, dude, no, I'm going to buy it. I knew all along I was going to buy it, whether I hated it or not. Like, yes, this is like the thing I'm going to do. It's leftover homeworld. Yeah. Hey, solidarity, Crucial Blue. Solidarity, man. I'm playing starting to know since I already have.
Every day's a good day when you paint.
Yeah, Hobby HE, I get it.
I believe it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart.
Rusty Shackleford, how you doing, man? How's the extermination business? What's going on? Thank you so much for the raid, dude. Famous the Painting Dad streams. Yep, that's me. Yeah. World famous to all 20 people. We're just letting a wash dry. We're taking our time with this mini. Loyalist Night Lords, that is up to Zendral. Like spit on the ground when he saw that box set. He literally just went like, pff. You know, like ugh. It's like the anti-Night Lord set. Do you guys imagine Night Lords and Saturnine armor? They'd be hilarious. They can't afford that. Metal Gear Solid 5. Okay. That's fair. That's cool, man. My oldest brother used to love Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't know if I doubt he still plays it, but yeah. Zendro Hawk 2 it on the new box set apparently. Is that what it was? I don't think that's quite the attitude you had. Must have had some of those in their Legion, like White Scars. Yeah. That's the thing about Heresy is every Legion had everything, right? Because when you have 100,000 Marines or whatever, like you get a little bit of everything. So it all works, but yeah, if it's not thematically for you. French Fashion Week Terminator. Yeah, it looks like they're about to like strut on the catwalk, right, with their giant shoulder pads or whatever. Night Trap said, "I'm gonna get you," said the Night Lord in Saturnine armor from 15 feet away. To fight a guy made of fight, who I defeated by unloading a combat shotgun into his face until he fell into a septic tank. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's not very sneaky or deaky, yeah. What? Had to fight a guy made of fire, okay. The guy's literally just a fist. He's made of fight. Just like a flexing, like, fist. I'm gonna do one more, like, coat of wash on this mini. And then we're gonna build up. We'll build up. I'm gonna try to do some pretty stark contrast on here. So when we put our transparent blue over top, we can see everything. Oh, cool. Where am I looking, Hobby ADHD? Where am I looking? For equipping your Marines with Astartes shotguns, I haven't yet. No, I haven't. I want to do recon and scout squads and give them that, but it's just, you know, hasn't happened yet. Oh, Mr. Iron Hands himself. Oh, that mini looks cool. That looks really cool, Hobby ADHD. No, that's a solid looking, man. The robotic leg, the power fist, the like, it's a disintegrator pistol, right? What are they? Mechadendrites, the little tendrils. Look at that. He's even got like one of them's like, it looks like Doc Ock. I'm going to tell you I took third in a local 40k RTT on my FF. Oh, sweet, man. Congrats. Painted in between baby moments. Yeah. I have used Nemesis bolters. Yeah, they're OP. Yeah, Nemesis bolters are really good. Saw him reenacted by badgers in there. Yeah, might be Rusty Shackleford. That's funny. I don't think I've ever played a game by them, so I don't know. Like, I know the Metal Gear games get really trippy and weird. Yeah, I had a plan Night Trap. If I were to be like really grandiose about this whole thing, I wanted to get a ton of like of Mark 6 Marines, because I was going to do some adjustments. I was going to add in like different sergeant equips or like new sergeants with different equipment and like guys with Vexillas and stuff like that for my tacticals. But then I was going to turn a bunch of them into Recon Marines, and I was going to 3D print the Nemesis bolters and just have some Recon Marines. But that's kind of in the back burner now, with like 8 other projects I had going for my Heresy army. What'd you use for the barrel, the Nemesis bolters? 3D printed resin. I just printed the Nemesis bolters. They don't really? Metal Gear Solid, maybe my favorite video game series. I've never heard you talk about Metal Gear Solid. I've heard you talk about the Snoopy Olympics game more than you've talked about Metal Gear Solid. Genetically engineered so she breathes through her skin. Oh yeah, okay, Rusty Shackleford, yeah, of course, she has to wear as little clothing as possible so she doesn't die. That Snoopy game is hilarious. Yeah, it's great. No, I agree. It is great, but I'm just saying. Zen says that Metal Gear Solid's his favorite video game series, but yeah, I'm doubting that. I think it might be the racing game where we learned about the dog back or whatever it was. I can't remember the names of all these games. Random semi-famous IndyCar racer owning a video game or endorsing a video game or whatever it was. Anthony, what did you take to your RTT? Eldari Seer Council. Oh, cool. Cool. Congrats on the Xenos winning RTT. I went to an RTT last summer, and I brought my Ultramarines because they were like the most complete army I had. It was like painted to it like a good standard. And it turned out there was no one playing Xenos in the entire event out of like 30 people. Almost everybody was playing Imperium, and then there was a couple Chaos players. I was a Demon player, but yeah, it was weird. Yeah, the Horus Heresy website is really funny. Their takes on the leaks. They're just making fun of the picture quality. It's pretty funny. Talking about how the leak had to have happened from someone who was between the ages of 4 to 11, because the game is meant for 12 plus, and like it says not for 3 and under or something. Like this weird logic. I appreciate this kind of commentary from GW. Great to see you. Got to run. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Thanks for the lurk, Rusty Shackleford, and thank you for the raid, man. Thank you. Guys, go follow Rusty Shackleford. Show him some love. If you want to see some Metal Gear Solid gameplay, he's the dude. Since I haven't played, but where should I position my Warlord to maximize offense and defense? It depends on who your Warlord is. Night Trap. Orcs took first and second. Nearly beat the second place guy. He re-rolled into a 10-inch charge. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. I mean, that's when we know it's a close game, when it came down to like a die roll like that. Yeah, 4 to 11-year-olds, man. Driving their cars, taking pictures in their cars of all the boxes they're stealing. Like, it's crazy. Crazy. Those kids. Are orcs really that good right now? I mean, it's just like an RTT. It's probably not super indicative of anything. Yo, Raptor, how you doing, man? How you doing? Guys, Zen and I did record a shorter podcast yesterday, and it's up on the Patreon. Free members and paid members can listen to it. If you guys want to join up and listen to the podcast. We'll probably film another one maybe today. I don't know. It depends on what Zen's got going on. But I know he's a little busier today. But we might try to film something and get some hot takes on leaks. You've had a podcast since when? So we did a few episodes last year, and is there not a Patreon link on YouTube? Yeah, you guys find the page here. I'll do this. There we go. Get them both up. We did a couple episodes and we just kind of stopped recording it, and so I wanted to do some stuff for Heresy specifically and like the lead up to it. So yeah. So we decided just to record one. We were talking about Sunday night, and then I pestered Zen to record one yesterday. So we did a quick recording, and we kind of stopped a little abruptly, but we were planning on doing a part 2 today, or in the next couple days, and then everything just leaked. So it took out all of our speculation that we were doing. Okay, I think I'm good for a second coat of wash here. Silver curs can't hurt you guys. Don't worry. What silver is that? So this is Vallejo Metal Color. Was it steel? And then I did a Zenithal of Metal Color silver over that. And now I'm using some black wash just to bring it down and kind of get some of these recesses in. Any curse could hurt me if you wanted to, I'm sure. That's true, yeah. Curse can and will hurt you. Because that is what he would want to do. Yeah. That the Vallejo metal colors go so much smoother through an airbrush, so they're definitely the better choice for putting base coats on something like a Primarch. Yeah, it's a lot darker. That's good. That's good. Yeah, and I have Perturabo in hand as well. Will be our next project. So, I do have to let you guys know, and I'll post this in the Discord. I am not going to be streaming Thursday. I have some things going on, and it's happening right in the middle of my stream time. I'm not able to do my normal stream on Thursday. So we're doing today and tomorrow, and then that'll be it for the week. I might try to convince Painting Wife to stream with me Saturday or something if you guys want a second attempt at that, but I'm not going to pester her too much about it because she's busy. So they're going to take so much longer. Yeah, that's all right though, Zen. That's all right. Right, they're like a special unit, and you're probably only going to ever have 10 of them, so like that's a good unit to really focus on, spend some time on, and everything. In my opinion, at least. Yes, Hangout is still on for Wednesday night / Thursday morning if you're in Europe. Hang out. I'm probably going to be painting something while we hang out. Man, I am really tired. I was so prepped to go to bed early, and like it's like, man, I'm gonna be so rested. I'm gonna feel so good tomorrow, and then I had to go post a bunch of links of leaks. Leo, what's going on, man? Podcasts on YouTube have double platform. Yeah, I do have some podcast episodes on YouTube. This one, the episode I have up right now is just on Patreon. Yep. But yes, I do agree. I do agree. Our older episodes are up on YouTube. Just working? Yeah. Yeah, we did. We streamed less than an hour. That was a weird day. Hang out. Exam tomorrow, Project Crat. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And good luck on your exam, Wandering Picked. Almost there, man. It's like the finish line, right? It's your last big thing to do. I did. I used your thumbnail. Yeah. It's a good thumbnail. Yeah, last exam ever. At least for this degree. Good, dude. All I'm doing for this wash, guys, it's 1 part Robocryl black wash, 1 part water. So I'm actually just using water to thin it. And it's working better than I think anything else I've ever used to thin this PA wash. So I'm pretty happy about it. Okay. We need the shoulder pads real quick. What I got left. How about doing a podcast? We couldn't come up with a name for it. Yeah. Podcast was named the Painting Dad Podcast. I put it on Patreon and I called it the Talking Dad. I think that's what I called it. I don't know. It was late. It was late and I was doing it real quick, so. If that's too generic of a name. So all of our black wash here. Waiting for my oil change. Yeah, I figured Zen. You enjoy the podcast? Okay, good. It's good to hear. Yeah, guys, any feedback or anything you guys got, or topics you want to hear about or anything, please just let me know. All right. Silver Kerr is looking more like an Iron Warrior at this point. I figure we do this blue armor first, and then we go. The podcast is just on the Painting Dad on my YouTube channel. Again, if you want the new episode, it's on Patreon. Night Lord Perturabo somewhere else is terrifying. Yeah, any member, free members have access to the podcast if you want to listen to it. But older episodes are just on my YouTube channel, which is just the Painting Dad. What we're gonna do with this, I'm gonna pull out some more mid-tone silver, and we're gonna start highlighting. Now, I don't like using these Vallejo metal colors with a brush. So I'm going to use my Pro Acryl silvers. The difference between the Pro Acryl silvers and the Vallejo metal color, the metal colors are a lot warmer, a lot more like more, I guess, gritty looking, probably a little more realistic. These silvers are very bright and very cool. I don't think it's going to be a problem when we get to covering it with transparent colors. I don't think it's going to be an issue at all. So I am going to do, and it's also been washed down, and that might change things and everything. So we're gonna try some mid-tone silvers, and then we're gonna build up to just a bright silver. That's what we're gonna do. Try to thin this out a little bit too. We want to make sure we're using nice thin paints. even darker. Yeah, we need more silver in there. More silver. We're not highlighting with a darker color. Paint needs plastic. What's going on? Just got home from work. Time to paint. Nice, nice. I'm doing great. Yeah, we're just chilling. I'm painting Conrad Kurz in a very weird fashion, but we're doing that, and we're talking about all the Horus Heresy leaks that came out. I am the thing I'm most curious about is the rules, the rule changes. That is by far the biggest thing that worries me and that I'm excited for. Darkest Sun, welcome in. How are you doing today? I'm not gonna get those little ridges just yet, not with this color. We're getting all of our big colors here. Big surfaces. Yeah, the Saturnine is the that's the starter set for the new edition of 30K. That box set. It's gonna be Istvan 5 themed, which is cool. Just hoping the rules writers did right by the rules. That's what I'm hoping. Little adjustments. That's what we need. Lots of little adjustments. But we'll see. Yeah, the Saturnine Terminators are super chunky, though. He does have shoulder pads, so he'll get shoulder pads too, but we're just making a good faith effort to highlight all this stuff here. So I'm not completely sure what's going to be on display and what isn't. Excuse me. Yeah, there's a Dreadnought. There's one big, they call it a Saturnine Dreadnought. There's 6 Saturnine Terminators. There is 40 Mark II Tactical Marines. A Praetor and a Centurion's 2 characters. And then a big autocannon turret. That's a new thing, and some weapon sets. Are disintegrators. Yeah, Yeah, I think out of that set, I think the Mark II is what I'm looking forward to the most. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Mark II, but it'll be cool. I like Mark II more than Mark III, so. Okay. Some of that. Let's see if there's anything on these shoulder pads here. Skulls will end up being gold, but maybe we can trick our highlights a little bit. Get a little more definition out of it from the start. Yeah, excited for them to be worse. Yeah. So would you say your favorite? My favorite armor mark is Mark IV or Mark V. The Mark VI has really grown on me, but Mark IV definitely. Evelios, what I think happened with the second edition is I think it wasn't super well planned. I know they did a lot of playtesting because the playtesting all leaked. But you know what happened was the original like creator and the writer of all the first edition books and everything, he passed away unexpectedly, and the rest of the team were kind of trying to figure out how they can continue the game without him, you know, because he had more plans for books and units and like all this cool stuff he was gonna do, and like, you know, the man died. So they decided to put out a second edition, and they did play testing and stuff, but I think in the end it was all very haphazard. They were just trying to find a way to get their project going, and make it separate from his work. I can't remember who it was, what the gentleman's name was, but so they put out second edition, and obviously it was very haphazard. Like, you know, the rules have a lot of issues, right? They're fun, they're great, but yeah, they, you know, mortal armies are completely screwed over. Legion rules that don't interact with the armies, and you know, tons of little things. My biggest hope is that third edition is a hey, this game has sold way better than we expected. We're selling mortal armies like hotcakes. We can sit down, we can make the rules what we want and what we intended them to be, and then we can go forward with everything. So it's more like a correction, like a 6th edition 40k into a 7th edition 40k, where like 6th edition was horrid. It was a god-awful mess of everything, and then they turned it around to 7th edition in like 18 months. It was funny, the 7th edition kept the same starter set, they just swapped the rulebook and everything. Like, that was all a thing, but like, you know, I don't think they moved as fast because it's not a main game, right? It's the smaller studio. Little more silver here. Excuse me. And the extra mucusy today. Well, they changed the motivation to paint. Not selling them, only grow larger. Problem for future Avelios, though. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the thing about GW is, they obviously it's a corporation. They have anti-consumer practices and everything. Like, I think we can all agree that they don't have our best interest in mind. They just have an interest for our money. But the specialist studios that make these like all the little side games for GW seems to be a lot more careful in what they do compared to the main studios. So, the 40K team will just get rid of units because they're old or whatever. The specialist games haven't done that. They don't have a record of doing that. In fact, like, you look at the old world, they're putting units in the game that haven't been in the game for 30 years. They're like, oh yeah, we still had the mold for these guys. Let's just make rules for them and put them in the game. So, they're doing stuff like that, which is really cool. And I think kind of shows a lot about the difference between between like the two different types of people that run studios in the game. I just hope it hasn't been like, yeah, Horus Heresy was a lot bigger than we thought, so let's turn it over into like the main game studio. They just take it and axe everything. I don't know. We won't know until we know. Hey, Shane Thompson, welcome. Welcome. How are you doing today? Lots of people coming on YouTube. How you YouTube people doing? Hey, if you see any more leaks for Heresy stuff, I assume within the next week we'll have all the core rules leaked. Especially if someone is literally selling the set on Facebook Marketplace. I imagine that we'll be seeing rules very soon, which is what I am more interested in for the new edition. You said, though, the older edition isn't going anywhere, worst case scenario? Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah. Wait, what did I don't remember what I said. Oh, like you said, yeah, okay. I thought you were like, lies! You said it's not going, like, what did I do? No. Yeah. Hardest pill to swallow is they only wanted $500 from Unobtainium, yeah. Not gonna lie, guys, I was tempted. If that dude was in Ohio for some reason, for the content, could you imagine the views, the content creator in me? Because, man, I would slowly release everything. I'd make it agonizing for everybody. One video a day on like a specific topic. I get like a cease and desist from GW or something. That's what would happen. I imagine if that is legitimate and the person is selling it, they probably already sold it. And if they didn't sell it, it's because GW sent them, some attorney sent them some kind of letter or email or Facebook message. One thing I do want to say, I gotta give some serious credit to Zendraw here. I think he called this, and I think he might be right. I had not seen this take before he mentioned it yesterday on the podcast. Um, when they were talking on the Heresy website about all the legions or multiple legions being in the box or every legion in the box or whatever, he mentioned that it might be the transfer sheet. They might have a transfer sheet that has a little bit of everything in it. And I was like, man, that's genius. Like, they did that with the Solar Auxilia with like a bunch of different cohorts on the transfer sheets and stuff. It's like they could do that. If you look at that box, the leaked images of the back of the box, the transfer sheet is brand new and it's enormous. And it could very well have a little bit of everything for every legion, which would be perfect. I'd be, man, trading so much. It'd be so good. Zombie Sashimi, welcome in. Welcome in, raiding in. Can we get a shout out for Zombie Sashimi? Is there anyone in here that can do that? I'll get it. Oh yeah, Blue, can you shout out, please? Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Zombie, how was your stream? White Wolf, welcome in. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Help if I could spell, yeah. It's all good. Grumpy Crane, welcome in. Welcome in. How are you guys doing? A lot of fun. Good banter. Bit of painting done. Cool, what were you painting? What were you talking about? I know it was new Horus Heresy stuff, wasn't it? Do it. Yeah, guys, we're painting Conrad Kurz. Doing him a little different than I've painted other Primarchs, but what I wanted was I wanted Kurz to have a metallic blue armor, help him stand out a little bit from the rest of his legion. And the way I'm achieving that is by highlighting up silvers. And then we're going to use some transparent blue, and then we might highlight a bit after that. The bot's slowing down, yeah. GSA model for Infinity. Oh, cool. All right. Infinity's been so popular lately. It's great. Nice converted painted Night Lords. Recommend Zombie Case. Okay. Ooh, Zombie Case. Someone puts up a link. I would go check him out real quick. This Kurz is a commission. I'm painting him for Zendraw. This is the third Heresy Primarch I've had the pleasure of painting. And number 4, appropriately, of the 4th Legion will be next. I'm going to do one more bright silver highlight, and then we're going to try out some transparent blue. I think I might do the shoulder pad first because I can correct it easier. It looks really janky. Interesting. Interesting. Hey, Night Lords are cool. They definitely have their very unique flavor for Heresy. Oh yeah, yeah, it's a crazy looking Night Lord. That is using the base of that mini is the 8 bound. Excuse me. A lot of that mini is 8 bound mini. I'm not sure. Some of the stuff is hard to tell, but that chess piece definitely an 8 bound chess piece. Huh. Yeah, I can tell. I can tell White Wolf. A lot of sculpting too. Yeah. All right, using our brightest silver, go through and do edge highlighting across this whole mini, which is probably going to take a few minutes here. Rain run. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Zombie Sashimi, you have a wonderful afternoon or evening, whatever time it is for you, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for the raid. Owned Hobbyist, welcome in. How are you doing today? Lots of people on YouTube jumping in. Welcome everybody. Welcome. I do stream on YouTube and Twitch, guys. It's a dual stream. So if you're wondering who I'm talking to, if you don't see the chat from them, it's probably because I'm not just talking to myself or making up people. It's probably they're on the other platform. Both P Black Bean and Citadel Caliban Green. Ooh, I think I actually do own both of those colors. Crucial Blue. And I think Caliban Green has terrible coverage, honestly. I think Black Green is a little darker. And a little more, as goofy as it sounds, like black focus. Whereas Caliban Green is much more of a green. I have used Caliban Green to paint Dark Angels, though. Oh, Pointless Alibi. Okay, yeah. Well, welcome in. Welcome in. This is for Zen. Yes, Potonator, this is Zen's Mini. This is. Zen's Primarch. Don't think I'm going to finish him this week, but we're going to get some good work in on this mini. Make it look good. Don't have all those paints though. Yeah. Yeah. Also, welcome in, Pum. When are you excited for the new Chaos Knight that was announced yesterday? I know you're a Chaos Knight player, so. Yeah, it's got cool weapons on it. Giant flamethrower. It's good stuff. The drill is a little weird. The drill looks a little strange. The fact that it's on like a stick, you know, like a proper drill is a little out there for me, but I've had some different angles. It'll look better. So what I plan on doing, guys, I'm going to put this transparent blue over this silver, right, where all the blue armor is. We're going to do it very carefully. I'm going to do very thin coats. And then I'm going to highlight up that blue. And we're going to try to get some nice, like, metallic look of this armor. Just another slaughter claw and arching. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, something different's always nice. Oh yeah, yeah. You can find the STLs already. That's how it works, right? GW announces something and someone has the STLs out with the next day or sooner. There's also there was a leak that is a little bit more iffy for a Dawn of War themed game, tabletop game. Whether it's a board game like the Captain Titus game, you like the Space Marine board game, but the sprue pick that was put online is the I think it's called the Heroes of the Chapter or Honored of the Chapter. It's the Indomitus sprue. So if anyone missed that Indomitus sprue and you don't want to pay $130 for it, it might be coming out in red plastic eventually for a board game. Grinder Flan Savadrill, yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of directions they could have taken it, you know. I appreciate them trying something different. Even if I'm not like a huge fan of the drill arm, but yeah, so if you want like your Judiciar and your Blade Guard Ancient and those kind of units, they might be coming in a Dawn of War themed board game. That might be promoting a new Dawn of War game coming out, which has been rumored for I think a couple months now that it was being worked on, so might just all come full circle. Yeah, those are great minis, yeah. Dan Zier, welcome. So it just looked like a kill team. Yeah, it might be for a kill team, but that's also one powerful kill team. Yeah, because that sprue had a chaplain, a push fit chaplain, the Judiciar, the Blade Guard Ancient, had 3 Blade Guard on it. I think it had 3 Eradicators on it. And maybe Lieutenant or Captain? No, I think those are different sprues. But it was quite a bit on that sprue. I like my Blade Guard Ancient. I don't know if the mini is the greatest thing ever, but I like using it. Not very good, but it's a really cheap character that buffs up your Blade Guard. And you can bring him with another character, so... A lot of exciting stuff. You know, we get these droughts, and it's like months without a decent leak, and then it's like everything at once. Also right before summer, and typically a lot of stuff comes out in the summer, a lot of big releases, so... Just highlighting a whole bunch of silver. I'm going to thin down this blue transparent paint. We're going to thin it down with a glaze and wash medium. We're trying to do like 1:1 maybe. I think 1:1 might be the most, the easiest measurement and the most appropriate, but we'll do 1:1 and then we'll see how dark it is. We'll test it on a shoulder pad first, so it's easier to correct. If we like it, we'll continue. Hey, Tuvon, what's up? How are you doing today? I love how in the Horus Heresy Discord, people are trying to like figure out what's going on, and one of the things people are talking about is that trying to figure out like rules and stuff. How big of a change is it? And so I saw someone make the argument that the font on the rulebook is the same as the 2nd edition Age of Darkness rulebook. Oh, the ceiling's up. Oh, man. Oh, you got me. You got me. This is me laughing. So they said since the font is the same on the rulebooks, it's an indication that the rules didn't change very much. That it's not like a big change. Cutting up shingles to use as bases for my DIY. Interesting. That's really interesting. I haven't heard of someone using shingles for terrain for quite some time. It's been many years. I feel like that's a very terrain tutor, Mel the terrain tutor type tip. Yeah, the leaps in logic, yeah. I don't think layout and content correlate. Yeah, probably not. But, you know, there is... With new editions of, like, 40K and stuff, new edition books, you typically see, like, new font, new layouts, new background designs, and all that stuff. So, in a way, I can see... where the thought comes from. Same art style, same font, same like layout with the cover and everything means that it's minimal changes, you know, means that it's, you know, not a big change because they're not like rebranding the whole thing. Hope it holds together. Yeah, me too. That's crazy. That's really cool though. Yeah, I hope it works out for you. Post some pictures if you can. Jump in the Discord if you're not already in there, and let us know how the progress is going. Swapped air filters, nice. I need to buy some air filters for our cars. Ugh. My wife's car has an oil change. Normally I take the cars in for an oil change. I might still take hers in, but we take it to the dealership because we get they do full synthetic oil changes for us for like $19, which is great. You know, everything else is super expensive, but they were trying to tell us that her transmission was leaking the last time we were in there, and I don't. Yeah, it's super cheap. That's how they. You know, that's one of their things. That's one of the things they do. It's a good dealership and everything. But if you buy your car from there, that's one of their things they do. So transmissions leak. I was like, oh, that's really serious. And like, yeah, we should, you know, replace that now or whatever. Like, fix that now. And I was like, I'm gonna call somebody and then I'll let you know if we're gonna do it. And so I called my dad, who was a mechanic for 42 years or whatever. I'm like, hey, they said the transmission's leaking. He's like, oh, really? He's like, is something dripping? Is it just moisture? Like, what's going on? And it was just moisture. And he's like, yeah, it's not. Like, when you start seeing like spots of oil or whatever, transmission fluid on your pavement, then it's a problem. But I was like, okay, cool. And they were trying to get me with my car with something too. They broke a bolt getting a tire off my car. They're like, yeah, we gotta replace it. It's $200. And I was like, no, it's not. It absolutely isn't, because you're the guys that broke it. Like, you're the only ones that take the tires off my car. Like, it's not my fault you guys, like, over-tightened it. Yeah, they ended up doing it for free. Like, yeah, well, we don't want you driving. That's unsafe for you driving with this broken, so we'll just go ahead and do it for you for free. I was like, yeah, that's right, you will. Free oil and rotation for 2 years. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's, you know, it's still a car dealership, and it's still, you know, mechanic stuff. But I don't get anything done without talking to my dad first, so. Because he's legit. He knows what he's talking about. Yeah, it is crazy, isn't it? Yeah, and they tore up. It was on my wife's car, the bolt thing, and they tore up the rim while they were doing it, and it took them like 6 months to get a new one in. Because I made them replace that as well. Cars have changed. Yeah, he retired like 6 years ago. It's not like it was that long ago. And yeah, cars change all the time, but Yeah, I remember he'd do constant trainings on. How old do you think I am, Zombie Bunny? Well, no. So the stud they replaced, it was the rim of my the wheel that they didn't. They scraped up because you have to like grind out the bolt or whatever, and they were like the dude was like slipping with the grinder and kept like grinding chunks out of the rim, out of the steelies or whatever. Um, yeah, I don't know anything about car zombies, so like I said, I call my dad. You know, he keeps up with it. He still fixes his own cars. He used to do trainings. He'd do like annual trainings that like certified on like new tech and everything. But um, yeah, like fundamentals and stuff, I feel like will be still there for a while. So I don't think I'm ever not going to call my dad to ask for advice on car stuff. The hands on this guy, right? Yeah, owning a car is expensive though. When I first started driving, my dad taught me how to like change the oil in my car and do all this stuff, and it was like it's cheaper to change your own oil than to take it to someone to have them change it and everything. And um, very quickly after that, like oil prices went up like crazy, and it wasn't cheaper anymore. It was like $2 cheaper. I could buy my own oil and spend much time doing it myself, or I could just take it to someone and have it done. So I haven't changed the oil in my car even like before we got our new cars and had the cheap oil changes. I hadn't done that in years. Have it available causes me anxiety. Yeah, exactly, Tuvon. Yeah, it's expensive, but especially like I feel like in a lot of the U.S. like cars are really necessary. It's like a necessary expense, right? We don't know what public transit is. Okay, I think I had got the silver highlights on him. Let's get this shoulder pad. Can't go if I want to. Yeah. Yeah, I got in a nasty car accident a couple years ago. And I totaled my car. I didn't have a car for a few months because I was also like at the height of like the shortage. Um, like that 2021. Yeah, and yeah, it was really frustrating trying to do work or trying to do things. I didn't have a car for a while. all these little things with some silver because we're going to mess around with some paint for gold. Man, I do like that logic about 3rd edition, though. The font and the layout's the same, so the rules haven't changed much. I'm going to cling to that. That's my my hopium right there. It's all going to be fine. I think a big indicator will be if they mention ahead of time if armies will be able to use the current books they have before their updated books come out. That's going to be a big indicator, because if you can use current books in the new rules, then that means that the rules changes aren't enough to really alter too much, right? Like that's a good sign. It's a really good sign. Oh, man. Follow and dictate all sorts of stuff. Not too far from plausible. Yeah. Hey, Eulogy Master, what's up? I am painting one of the demigods with the most daddy issues, which is Conrad Kurz, who is currently very silver. But we're about to change that, so... Remember the instruction book spot. Yeah, it's true. That's true. Yoshi, what's going on? What is up? Alright, here's what we're getting, guys. Here's what we're doing. Glaze and wash and transparent blue. No blast templates aren't going anywhere. Yeah, and we got blue whippy sticks, guys. Blue whip sticks. That's the real treat here. Base and Discord. Oh, cool. All right, let's see. What do we got? Oh, nice. Okay, cool. It's like barricades and walls and stuff. Nice. That's really cool. That's going to be heavy terrain with the shingles. Very cool, though. Very cool, Danzier. Yeah. Okay, let's get... Alright, 1-to-1, glaze and wash, and transparent blue. It's going to be very strong. I know that already. And this might be a thing where we thin it down even more. Let's see. Oh, that's kind of nice. Let's see. Let's try it and see. I think we're definitely going to want a second coat. Yeah, really thin. It goes on a lot lighter. Oh, that looks good though. Yeah, with that dry, oh yeah, that looks good. That looks good. I think we're on to something. We are definitely on to something. Okay. What I'm going to do, we're going to let this dry for a minute. I'm going to use the restroom real quick, and then we're going to come back and try a second coat on there and see what a second coat looks like. As you can see, it already kind of forming here. I can probably... It's a little light right now. We'll go darker. We can go darker. We'll definitely need touch-ups, but we're gonna get this. But I'm gonna take a quick break, guys. I will be back in just a couple minutes. All right. Back. So, something I want to talk about, and I thought about this while I was peeing. I saw someone post this morning in the Heresy Discord at basically saying that Heresy, they're saying that they think Heresy is going to an old world arcane journal style army books. And if you guys aren't familiar with the arcane journals or the old world, arcane journals are basically like army books, like codexes, but smaller. They're not like as grandiose. They're just softback books. They have a couple like alternate ways to play the army and a couple extra units and things like that. But what if Heresy went to they did like they kept the Liber Astartes and the Liber Hereticus at second edition as it is. They do the rules and then they roll out arcane journals for each legion, like a small army book that has your rights of war, has your units in it, has all those things for your army, and it's like one book per legion. Or they put out like a Liber Astartes book, but it was for all 18 legions. Those are the basic rules for all the units, and then they rolled out like, hey, here's your legion specific rules in this book. Okay, I like that darker blue. The second coat is good. The second coat is really nice. Let's do the other shoulder. I think that would make this better as if it were thinner. I thin it at this point. With the Arcane Journal style books, that would give them incentive to start releasing plastic Legion specific units too. Instead of just making a random wave of some Legion specifics, which they did say were in the works. And a couple years ago, they said it would be a couple years before we started seeing them, so... Alright, Kurz, here we go with our blue. It looks incredible. Yeah, it looks really good. It looks really good. Yeah, it's gonna look bigger on these, better on these bigger surfaces too, I think. Alright, let's try it. Big area here. Little uneven. Second coat. Second coat will do it. Maybe if I thin down the second coat. Check it out later this week. You alright, Blue? What happened in stream last night? Man. Bones on top of my hand? Stones and knuckles. Oh, okay. Oh, that sucks. Alright. Well, hopefully you can, hopefully figure out what's going on. It's nothing too bad. You don't have bonitis, do you? Oh, that blue looks so good when it dries. So good. Think we get the Sony Walkman. Yeah, was that you that mentioned that earlier? I had no idea that was a thing. Background under there is blue. A nice silver highlight on all this is gonna look really good. Background on this is blue. Oh, snap. Congrats, Zen. Is that happening soon? Mr. Promotion over here. No, okay. Let's see. That is silver, okay. So that'll stay silver. We got this piece. Yeah, the update on the Heresy side is hilarious. Yeah. They're making fun of the picture quality and stuff. Auto miscorrect, yeah. Horos. The Horos Heresy. Zen doesn't need YouTube money. His dad owns Twitch. That's why he had to change his username for YouTube. It's different than Twitch. Instead of Zendraw27, it's Zendraw Gaming. He'll be disowned if they find out. iPhone brand headphone jack, yeah. Oh man. Talk about anti-consumer. Okay, next leg. Look at why they took the headphone jack away. So they could sell the new headphones. That's why. A lesson everyone needs to learn. Apple doesn't make iPhones. They don't make headphones. They don't make any of that stuff. They make money. That's what they make. The Bluetooth drains your battery, yeah. I like having Bluetooth headphones, but no, I get it. I also have an Android, so Yeah, why give it when they can sell it? Yep. Especially Apple, man. Apple has like, you know, their fan base kind of frothing at the mouth for Apple to release things. So yeah, we're just gonna have to go back and get these all this trim. There's no way I'm gonna be able to protect all the trim from the blue. Select next gen phones, converting to Android. Yeah. Okay, getting the blue on the leg there. Vacation next week. I'll build my Grey Knights. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, I have some Bluetooth headphones, and the battery in the headphones lasts a really long time, which is nice. My phone battery is okay, but I'm never away from the house for long enough for it to matter. Oh, Gosu. No. Gosu, no. Did you not see? Oh, my sweet summer child. How did Gosu not see? Gosu, go look on the internet for 5 minutes, man. Go on. Go look and then come back here in a couple minutes. Yeah, no. That's so funny. The one person I would expect to be freaking out like no one else, and he's just like, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be Istvan themed. You can check my Discord in the gaming news or something, but there's that's basically it as far as, you know, what there is, but it's pretty funny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gosu. I don't mean to poke fun, but it's just really funny. Your statement coming in here and you're just like, yeah, cool. Yeah, I expected more of that, you know, when you would jump into stream. Yeah, I mean, it was like 11 o'clock last night, and I was like, man, I'm going to get to bed. I'm going to get to bed in good time. I'm laying in bed, and then I see someone posted in our Discord. It was Aslan Grants. He posted the leaked pictures. I was like, well, I'm up for another 2 hours. It's my life now. Yeah, it's definitely going to be Istvan themed. Yep. Funny thing, guys, they also canceled the preview show at the Dallas Open. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. But that's not happening. Yeah, so Gosu, it is 3rd edition. They're not changing template sizes or anything. There's been a lot of discussion of people breaking down what's what on that box and clearer pictures showing up and all that stuff, so. Yeah. I mean, I think I saw the inevitability of it. I didn't want it to be Saturnine because I don't like the Saturnine like Terminators and stuff. But it's been the rumor for like 8 or 9 months at this point or longer. So like it was inevitable. What I really didn't want was a bunch of new units. I wanted them to continue on the track of releasing the resin stuff into plastic. And that's definitely not what we got. It's mostly new things in that set. So that fact is a little disappointing as far as minis go, but they look okay. The stuff looks okay. Not the most exciting box they've released in my opinion. For my purposes, but it's cool though. I've resigned to getting one. What's up, Elchorn? How you doing? Yeah, it is weird. To be fair, they did the same last edition. They released the Kratos, which was an entirely new tank. So it's not unprecedented. It's just strange to see so much at one time. The Horus Heresy website posted a better picture of the Mark II Marine. The guy it's called a veteran legionary with the disintegrator. They posted a clearer picture of him. And it looks good. Honestly, it looks pretty good. Yeah, they're also making fun of the picture quality from the leaks and stuff, so it's pretty funny. Working too much for a job. Already got let go. Yeah, oh, that sucks. That sucks, man. Are you still getting paid for the work you're doing? It sounds illegal if you're not. Okay, Kurz, where are you at? Going with the chest plates. Yeah, so the box set has 40 Mark II Marines, 6 Saturnine Terminators, the Saturnine Dreadnought, the Praetorian Saturnine armor, and then a Centurion and 2 sets of Disintegrator weapon sets is what they call them, which I think have ranged and melee weapons in that set. But it'll be really nice because I think it has heavy weapons and special weapon sets, so I should be able to magnetize them in such a way they look like they're going to be much more generalist and Legion agnostic, where I can just slip them right in with the squads I have made up already. This is why you magnetize, guys. Yeah, I think the that Dreadnought is bigger than a Redemptor. The Saturnine Dreadnought. It's not working out anymore. Switch over to Spark. You're looking for a job in industrial machines. All right. Well, good luck, Helchorn. Man, that sucks. That definitely sucks. I hope you find something that you enjoy. That pays really well. Yeah, the Leviathan Dreadnought is the size of the Redemptor Dreadnought. The same size mini already. And someone pointed out, I think this Dreadnought's on a bigger base. It's already a bigger mini. This paint on here, we're going to go back through and do a second coat. Blue on those. Might be about it for the blue on this mini. We might be ready for a second coat. We want to keep the metallic. It's almost like an Alpha Legion blue at this point. We want to keep the metallic, but a darker tone. I don't know if you can tell or not. That was 2 coats. Looks a lot darker. No Iron Hands Curs. No, Iron Hands Curs is going away. The Iron Curs. Yeah, I don't know if they're on. Let's see. Look at this picture. You know what? They're not on 60s. They're on 50 mil bases. Those are 50s. Gosu. That's a good observation. I don't think there's a Heresy unit on a 50 mil base at this point, and those are definitely on 50s. Yeah. Yep. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Where's my bases? I'm gonna grab my bases. All right, I have all these size bases. I also grabbed my Redemptor Dreadnought. This base looks smaller than the Saturnine Dreadnought's base. The lip looks more narrow on the Saturnine's base, and this is like a 80 or 90 mil or something. 80 mil maybe. I think the Saturnine is bigger than this. And I'll grab my Leviathan in a few minutes. And we can look. This is a 40 mil base. And you can see like the size of the lip compared to the Saturnine Terminators. Let me grab a 50. That's a 50. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that looks spot on. The 60s, where are my 60s? Here's my 60s. I'll show you guys. Yep, these are the 60s here. The 60s look too big. And if we compare to a 32 mil, let's see. Here's a 32 mil to a 40. Kind of line it up with the picture. That doesn't look much like a difference. 42 mil to a 50, or 32 mil to a 50. That looks closer. The 60 mil looks a little too big. Yeah, I think it's a 50 mil base. So we put those big chunkers on a 50 mil base, guys. That's a big mini. And let me go grab my we're doing detective work today. That's what we're doing. Let me go grab my Leviathan. I'm going to bring him down, and we're going to do a size comparison real quick. Okay, so zoom back a little bit. Different base sizes, but we have a Redemptor here. Focusing on this bad boy here. We got a Redemptor. Okay. We have our Leviathan. Base sizes are different. So Redemptor's on a 90 mil, I think. And the Leviathan's on an 80. If we compare height of the minis, line up their feet, they're the same height. They have a very similar in size and I guess chunkiness. Girth, is that the word? I don't feel like I should be using the word girth on Twitch, but very similar. That mini has to be on a bigger base. That has to be bigger than this. What size base would that be on? Yeah, John Lockridge. Remember, everyone, the smaller the base, the more likely are to die in the Emperor's glorious service. Yep. We got, what is this? This massive, chunky base? That's like 130 mil or something. Something like that. I think that might be too big. It's not an oval. I don't know if I do have some other... No, that's the same size. Through my giant base bag here. That one? Oh, that's a bigger one. Okay. That could be it. It's this size or bigger. I don't remember what this was for. That's 100 mil base, though. Yeah, so this is a 90, because this is an 80, and you compare these two. You see the size difference? That's the flesh on one side. It's about 10 mil bigger. And then this one is about 10 mil bigger. I think these are 130. Maybe. Hold on. We'll get out the micrometer. How about that? Micrometer can measure. Stuff that big. Where are you, micrometer? Wrong drawer. There you are. Just need like the ruler at this point, the tape measure. I have a digital micrometer and the digital part broke, so let's see. Yeah, 130. It's 130. That's 130 mil. What if this thing's on 130 mil base? That'd be stupid. That'd be like coming up to a knight's shoulders, like just ridiculous. Yeah, 160 is the... it's definitely not bigger than this 130. Most likely it's on a 100 mil base, but that would mean it's bigger than the Redemptor Dreadnought. 160s are reserved for like the new Dracolith or whatever in Age of Sigmar and the giant dragons and stuff. 160 is the knife here on the big bug. Is she on a 162? Wow, okay, yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, even 100 mil base is pretty insane. Yeah, the Centurions are definitely on 50s though. I think we can reasonably deduce that. And the no, it's definitely not a 160 for the big Saturnine Dread, but yeah, 100 seems reasonable. 100 seems like what it is. Okay, we need to get our second coat of this paint here. Getting all worked up. Yeah, Yeah, there's not many miniatures on a 160. Because even knights aren't on there because they're on a big oval. No, I don't think any Primarch has a 160. Here, let me zoom back in. Thank you guys for indulging me. Well, I do want to say you're welcome because Zen and I made a podcast. We put out a podcast episode for Patreon members last night. And as soon as we put that out, everything leaks. And so our whole podcast is irrelevant. It was great. So maybe we need to do an episode speculating on the rules. And then the rules will leak tomorrow. How does that sound, guys? You guys cool with that? What leaked? The third edition Horus Heresy starter set. Yep, the box leaked. It's on my Discord, on the gaming news and rumors and leaks, whatever the channel's called. You can find it there. We were talking about it last night over there. Yeah, Gosu, good call thinking of the base sizes. I didn't even think of base sizes. But you get a good sense of scale of like what's what when you know what size base they're on. I like the theory that the Saturnine Terminators aren't actually Terminators. They're more like Dreadnoughts. Like an incapacitated Marine that's not coming out of that armor. It makes more sense with their proportions. How they're not quite like human proportions, more so than normal Terminators. Yeah, I would like to see some different lore with him other than just being dudes wear this different suit of armor. Okay. Yeah, the darker blue is good. Most unlikely thing you'd want GW to do? Oh, man. Darkest Sun, if we're talking 30k... Hold on a second, let me get a drink of water. My voice is tired, guys. Painting set out a game, I was yelling way too much. As one of the coaches. I wasn't just yelling as a parent sideline. I do that too. But that's really difficult because I don't think there's a lot that's completely off the table. I saw a cool idea that someone had. Reduce prices. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. A cool idea someone had with how the new edition could be. I don't know if they're working from like rumors or inside information. I don't know. But they were talking about Arcane Journal style army rules. Which means every legion will get their own mini book like they do in the old world. But it'll have their unique units, their rights of war, their Primarchs, different things like that. But then maybe we'll have one big book with all like the basic, like generic Marine rules. And with that, if they do mini books per legion, which I think is a cool idea, and they can expand on, the different legions and stuff. If they do that, they could coincide those book releases with legion-specific plastic sets, which the Heresy team has said they are working on. They have outright said that in preview shows, that legion-specific plastics are coming, but they said they're a couple years away before we start seeing them. That was also, I believe, a couple years ago when they said that, or at least a year ago. So that could mean that's something that's coming. Care less for salamanders? Pretty much least consequential legion, yeah. Whoa. Hey, Iron Hands have a bone to pick with that, alright? The salamanders did stop Magnus from killing the Emperor, so they got that going for him. Iron Hands crashed out into the corner and died and cried the whole time, or something. I don't know. Yeah, I would like to see little books for each legion. I think that would be awesome. With a little more time spent on them instead of just a big book, and you might get another rule here from a PDF or something. I would also like them to get those books out pretty fast, like one per month, but that's still that's not a lot either. That's still a while before people get Legion rules. So that's kind of a difficult balance, right? Orgar to go from being perceived as the weakest Primarch to being the big bad in 40k. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool to give them their day in the sun. Orgar's kind of lame though. Personal opinion. Magnus is like everybody's beat stick. No. It's his lot in GW writing. Where he just forgets that he can just vaporize somebody with his mind. And decides to try to hit them with his spear instead. What would be a cool idea for the Heresy rules if they did Arcane Journals, like little army book style releases, is if they paired legions up. They did one traitor, one loyalist every month. And they did like a, Prospero themed Space Wolves and Thousand Suns. Each of them got a unit or two, one or two like legion specific units, and maybe a Praetor character in plastic or a Centurion style character in plastic, and then they released their books, and they're like, cool. They gave them dice and some unit cards, and you have like a full release, where both factions get things that fills out a Sunday preview and a pre-order day, but it's not like overdoing it for one faction, and it's not taking forever. That's like 9 months worth of releases. It's less than a year. I think that's good. Larger scale statues of 18 Primarchs. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's Erebus. Erebus is the reason they get hate. First Heretic is an incredible book, though. I was reading First Heretic, and like the whole time, it wasn't the first book I read. I had read through the series in order and everything, and got to the First Heretic. I'm like, yeah, okay. Argel Tall is the loyalist dude. You know, he stays loyalist. Like, you kind of follow each character that stays loyalist through all these books. And then he turns into the demon, and he's like cool with it. You know, like the yeah, they just like go with him, like, oh, okay. I really thought he was like a good guy, you know, and he just straight up gets possessed by chaos. And 5 or so books left. Nice. Yeah, First Heretic is a great book, though. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's fun in a setting to have a dude that wants to be evil just because he's evil, right? If you're not seeing it, the fan animation of Death of Hope. No, I don't think I've seen that. In case you guys weren't here when I announced it earlier, I'm not going to be streaming on Thursday. So I'm just doing today and tomorrow this week. I have some things going on right in the middle of when I would be streaming, so I'm not able to stream and do these other things that I have to get done, appointments that I have. So Gal Vorback, that's what they are. Yeah. Argel Tall is such a good mini. Fantastic mini. Fusion on Thursday, so you'll be missing anyway. Okay, cool. We are doing Patreon Hangout Wednesday night, though. Normal time. Okay, did we get everything? I think we got everything. Could have really thinned this down, but the color is really good here. What I need to work on now is the specific highlight color here. Amazing, they nipped it in the bud. Nah, it's too bad. Yeah. You gonna be playing Doom Dark Ages? No. No. I've never played Doom. I don't really particularly care for it. Looks cool though. No, I've never played Doom. I think if I played it like way back when on PC, but also that game was pretty legendary for being ultra violent and gory and all that stuff. So I doubt my parents will let me play it. But it's just not like not my style of game, really. I need a bit of thinner here. Yeah. If it's not like strategy or like RTS, I don't know what the game is. Raise your nose. It's like a short amount of time. Yes, so Melee it is short, and I know a lot of people are like upset that Heresy is doing the 3-year time. There is a lot that goes into that might not be as bad as it sounds, because second edition was like a little rushed in a weird way, so it might be like a correction on second edition. It could be they're just making adjustments to the rules, and so instead of doing like it's just a quote-unquote 2.5, but it's like, hey, here's your updated rules, like everything else is still good. It's not like 40k where they have to release an index for everything. And I could be eating my words with that. I'm not saying that's what it's going to be, but that's what it could be. And I don't mind buying a new book every 3 years, if it's gonna be good, and if it's not like turning the game into something that's not fun. Yeah, give me adjustments and some balancing and some updates, and put it in a cool new book with a cool set with a ton of cool minis. Like, I'm cool with that. I'll collect templates and scatter dice. That's fine. Yeah, Gosu, I think in the next few days we'll start seeing rules leaking. That's my honest thoughts, so that's what I'm looking forward to at this point. TTRPG. Yeah, the TTRPG sounds interesting. I'm not a big RPG person, but it does sound interesting. Establish the hobby. Yeah, yep. You're like in there, like ready to go as soon as 3.0 comes out. these little ridged plates here. Hey guys, if you're interested in hearing thoughts about Horus Heresy coming out from me, and from Zendro, I think we're going to be doing another another podcast episode. I want to speculate on rules. That's what I want to do. We're gonna change gears. With the hope that speculating on rules will trigger someone out there into just releasing the rulebook contents to make our podcast irrelevant. So. getting all these blue areas highlighted here. Let's move on to the chest piece. Might end up doing more highlights on this blue another time. More toward the end or something to even out this color and add a little bit of depth. I really like this blue though. I want to keep this blue as like a front and center color. Thanks, Gosu. Digging it? Good, good. That's what really matters. If Zen likes it or not, because it's his mini. I think this blue armor will look better when other things are painted around it as well. We have to, you know, give some context. Look like something. What size brush am I using? This is a 2-0. This is a Rosemary and Company 2-0. Something small with a good point on it, and I'm making sure I have good consistency on my paint, and I'm just washing my brush frequently, because this paint will dry out really fast on the brush regardless, because so little surface area. The 99s, yeah. This is Series 33 is what this one is. I've had this brush for a long time, never used it, so. Getting some thunderstorms. What else is new? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fun story. I don't know if I talked about this. My homeowner's insurance went up by like 40%. My premium, my monthly premium, and I looked at my policy, and they had increased coverage by a little bit. Like, yeah, your house is worth a little more, and they increased my prices by a ton. And then what they did was, I have two separate deductibles. One is just like your normal deductible, and the other one is for rain and flood coverage or whatever. Rain and wind damage, I think is what it is. Rain and hail, maybe. I didn't know they had a separate deductible for that, but they did. So last year I had rain and hail coverage, and my deductible is a little bit higher than my normal deductible as a separate deductible. It's like, all right, it's fine. I get it. It's common. It happens. Like, well, it's going to be one thing or the other, right? Yeah. So this is not the value of my house going up. So, well, what happened was, my rain and hail deductible went up by almost double. So it's essentially a $3,000 deductible. And what they did, how they figured that out, they're like, well, yeah, now it's 1% of the value of your home, instead of just a flat dollar amount, and it increased it a ton. So I was like, wait a minute, they're increasing my premium and increasing my deductible by a significant amount. So I called, and I was talking to a lady, and I was like, well, what's the reason my deductible is going up, or my premium's going up so much? She's like, well, let's look at your policy. She's like, oh yeah, well, we see that we're covering more. Your house is worth more, we're covering more, so your premium went up. And I was like, okay, the value of my house went up by 10%. It's Bright Blue Batman. It kind of is, yeah. It's like, the value of my house, you guys are covering 10% more. You increased my premium by 40%, and then you gave me worse coverage. And she's like, well, I don't see that it's worse coverage. We're covering more. And I was like, no. You're making me pay more money as a deductible, significantly more money. That's worse coverage. She's like, oh, well, she's like, your premium's going up because the actuarials figured out that there's a higher chance of rain and everything. It's not tariffs. She said there's a higher chance of it's going to be a lot more like rain and storms this year. So we had to increase your premiums to cover that risk. I was like, all right. So you're increasing my premiums, but then you're also doubling my deductible for the wind and hail damage. So you're getting me both ways. And I was like, well, so if next year, if there's less of a chance of wind and hail, does my premium go down? Because I've had homeowners insurance for almost 15 years now, and my cost has never gone down. They'll give me a bunch of excuses for why it goes up, but it never goes down. Like they say that it's because, this year they see there's a higher chance, so they have to do this. But if there's ever a lower chance of things, they're not going to decrease my price. This is why we left our last insurance. Because they were increasing our rates by like $1,000 a year, which is insane. Like outright theft. And yeah, and she's like, yeah, it's what it is. And I'm like, how many years have you had insurance, and has the price ever gone down on your homeowner's insurance? Yeah, legalized extortion. Yeah, it is. And I get insurance. I understand the purpose of insurance, and I don't mind insurance, but when it's insurance for a profit like that, it literally is extortion. Especially when you have to legally have insurance, right? For a lot of things like car insurance and stuff. Like, they can charge whatever they want, and they just get away with it. They're just allowed to, because they're allowed to. Okay, I think we have these blue highlights on here. I don't understand insurance. Yeah. I sold insurance at one point. Like, I kind of get it, but... So, like, the premise of insurance is... It's a gamble either way, right? So the idea is... You make an agreement with your insurance company. You say, I'm going to pay you all this money, and the slight chance that something happens, I get something out of it. And there's enough people in the system that me getting something out of it and coming out ahead in this agreement doesn't hurt the insurance company, right? Because they have enough people paying. And that's what they pay actuaries to do, to do like a real calculus to figure out, like, you know, what's the risk and the return and everything. You know, that's the thing. Like, sometimes you come out ahead and sometimes you don't. And it's fine to pay for insurance and never have to use it, you know. But, yeah, what happens is when there's profit, and when it's a publicly traded company that is going for profit, it's not about profit, it's about growth, right? So they have to be making more money this year than they made last year. And if they're not growing, then they're losing money on stock, and, like, their value's going down because of how people perceive it, even though the stock market is just a meme at this point. But, like, yeah, but like that's pretty much the incentive of just charging people more. Dan Zier, if I pay into car insurance my entire life but never get into an accident or ever need it or anything, do I get my money back? So, no, there are life insurance policies that do that. It's called a whole life insurance policy. That's super expensive for very little coverage. But if you reach the age of 100 and you still have life insurance companies will just pay the life insurance money to you. They'll just pay out your policy as, like, congratulations, because the actuarial tables they use for life insurance don't work past the age of 100. They're too complicated. So they just pay out and they're just done. Yep, that's how you win at life. You reach the age of 100 with a life insurance policy. The thing is, though, with the whole life insurance policy is they make sure they make their money out of it through those years and decades that you have it. So, you know, they make money by the end of it. Yeah, whole life does suck. Yeah. It's not a policy that's worth it, because you pay like triple the amount for the coverage that you get for life insurance, but you know, they pay you back, and you ultimately pay more money to the. It's a whole thing. And I'm pretty sure life insurance is like the least complicated insurance out there. Yes, your car insurance is literally paying for everyone else's problems. Yeah, that's what it does, Dan Zier. Yeah, that's what insurance is, right? The basics of insurance is everybody's pooling their money together, so everyone pays a little bit. So if something happens to someone, that pool of money pays for them to not be completely screwed, right? And you're paying for the risk that person is you, and you're getting the money to help you, right? Which is like what a mutual insurance company is. Yeah, the blue is very nice, isn't it? Like the concept of like a mutual company is like everybody that pays in is an owner, and so it's supposed to be more like free to help people. But yeah, but then you have the company saying, you know, like, our CEO needs to make $80 million a year. How can we do that? And you get that. And when their focus isn't about the policyholders, it's about the shareholders, right? No, it's no. We're not doing heresy leaks anymore. No, no. We're talking insurance today. By the way, I am selling these policies. I'm just kidding. No, 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 no. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's healthcare, right? Or just about anything like. Um, American healthcare is horrible and expensive, even with insurance, because we're all about the insurance companies have to make a profit. Um, just about every other company in the world has like single payer, like government run healthcare. It's still insurance. You're except instead of paying an insurance company, you're paying in your taxes. And there's no CEO making tens of millions of dollars, or no like 15 different CEOs making all the money, right? And when it's like the entire nation collecting their money, it's cheaper for everybody. And they're more likely to pass claims because there's not a profit incentive. It's not denying claims because they don't want to pay the money. When it's treated as a service, it's a lot different. Check insurance for my bicycle. Oh, okay, there you go. That's cool. Yeah, Raja. I bet Raja knows. Raja works in healthcare. That's in the U.S. So I'm sure that they get the nightmare scenarios of insurance. We're gonna do a couple little colors here. Where did that? Oh, there's that paint. Okay. Any Apple gift cards like the rest of my insurance policies? Maybe, I don't know. Insurance isn't a thing. Seeing it on the civilian side, yeah. Yeah, and like the VA, Gosu knows. The VA is messed up. It's a whole other different set of issues, though, because it's such a struggle to fund VA, right? Probably have a few less Luigis. Yep. Oh, look at that magenta over silver. Oh, that looks so good. Too bad it's not going to stay like that, but it does look really good. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to me, the concept of like doctors have a say in someone's healthcare doesn't override like an underwriter, whose job is just to look at claims and approve or deny all day. Yeah, it was just my MLM thing. Yeah, that's all it was. That's all these streams were, guys. I was debating whether I was going to talk about this thing. Is not insurance related, but I'm sure all of us here have been in the like YouTube and like stream sphere long enough to see this kind of thing. But the Painting Sun watches YouTube, and he has a YouTube creator that he watches, and it's a guy that plays specific video games that he likes to watch. And it's great. My son is 8. He found a YouTuber he likes. He only watches this guy. Only. It's not Mr. Beast. No. But if he could just watch this guy as his TV watching every single day, that's all he would watch. And we kind of said, no, we decided to limit it. And it's been like 4 months, and this kid hasn't burnt himself out of watching this guy. I don't know how this guy has this many videos. It's ridiculous. I don't think you guys aren't gonna figure out who. So, but I will occasionally listen in to the videos that he's watching, and I started to notice something. And I have noticed this with some other YouTubers that I used to be subscribed to this started happening, where it's this wonderful trend where it's a YouTuber aimed at a younger audience, and they just hang out and they play games, they do fun things, and then they kind of say a joke here or there. And it's a joke that's maybe not super appropriate. Or, like they kind of laugh about a situation in real life that maybe is not something you should be laughing at. And then, they say it like once, and then they say a couple more jokes here and there through their videos. and then it eventually leads to something that's like they start like actually talking about it like it's a thing. um and it's always like the worst opinions that come out of these people, like hating women or anti-Semitism or something crazy, and it always starts with like little jokey comments, and then it's, you know, "Oh, I'm just making a joke, man, just making a joke, don't take it seriously," and then it ends up like becoming their whole personality. Oh yeah, Culture American, I bet you understand. Culture American probably has the serious frustration with insurance. Yeah. um yeah, it's his videos aren't necessarily kids videos. It's a guy that plays games, and he's just, you know, it's very much geared toward a younger audience, right? But it happens a lot. It happens a lot with these like content creators and stuff where their weird kind of beliefs seep into their videos, and then it ends up being like their whole personality in their videos. And I have seen it happen with people. Was that JonTron? Yeah, I heard. Yeah, one big dude, and there's some that what made me think of this was there's some big drama in the Total War community with a dude named Pixelated Apollo, who was actually the first YouTuber I ever subscribed to, like way back in like 2015 or whatever, when I didn't care to subscribe to any YouTubers, and I just like started watching YouTube a bunch. And he ended up like he started playing like different Civil War games, and he'd make comments about he'd only play for the South, and then he would start like yelling things like the South will rise again and all these things, and then he started like going like really weird like right-wing stuff. And now he just like he's like a rage bait dude. Like that's all he does is just like rage bait. And he's like full on like he makes like comments about yeah, like anti-Semitic comments in his video. And yeah, there's a couple Warhammer YouTubers that do the same thing. Yeah. So anyway, there was some controversy with that Pixelated Apollo, and it made me think of this. Well, I had been slightly noticing some of these jokes coming from this YouTuber my son had been watching. And it's been bothering me, and I'm like, I hate to be the parent to be like, you can't watch this because it's bad for you, and it's like things you don't understand. But I also don't want my kid to be like, to grow up to be that kind of person. That's like, yeah, this one dude on the internet told me that this was, you know, he's making jokes about this and it's funny, and now I don't like, now I hate women or whatever. You know, like one of those things that seems to be happening a lot with like my generation and younger, I think has been really bad with this, like that whole with like manosphere, like weird podcast culture of, you know, like that whole thing. So we actually sat him down last night and we're like, hey, here's what I think is happening. Here's what I've noticed with this YouTuber that you've been watching. And I told him, and I was like, you know, he's only 8 years old. You know, he's impressionable. He doesn't understand a lot of the things that are being impressed on him, you know. So I told him, like, I don't think you quite understand some of the things he's saying. I've noticed he's been saying these things, and here's what I have observed in the 20 or 10, 15 years I've been, like, watching YouTube a lot and have seen with people, is where it starts with these moments, and it evolves into something that's not okay. And we talked about it, and I thought honestly he would like be in tears, like, you know, you're not allowed to watch this guy anymore, and he was just gonna be like crying about it. He was totally fine with it. He was like, okay. I was like, yeah, okay, all right. And I told him, I was like, I'll yeah, and I told him, like, next time, like, dude, like tomorrow evening we can get on YouTube and we'll try to find some dudes that play the same games, and we'll find some other people to watch. Maybe people that play new games or something that'll be better, or something. But I said just something you have to look out for. And I told him, I was like, the internet is it's a really cool and awesome place, but it is horrifying. The internet is a terrifying and complicated place, and you can't just trust, you know, the things you see or the things you hear on the internet. You always have to be aware of, you know, people trying to, I guess, influence or yeah, I guess you had to pay attention to how people act, right? Like that was like the whole thing. And so I think tonight we're gonna try to find some YouTubers. I found a couple. Um, yeah, next thing you know, yeah, he's watching Gosu. Yeah, and then he's just like trying to fill in the gaps with all the muted rap songs on your streams, dude. Because watching your VODs. Yeah, next thing you know, he's gonna be playing World of Warcraft. Um, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the internet has too many weird rabbit holes. We don't need to get this kid into too many of those. So yeah, I found a couple YouTubers. There are a couple ones I used to watch that I used to enjoy, and I just kind of like stopped watching that were still cool. I don't know, they just stopped showing up or whatever. But yeah, so we're gonna look at some YouTubers and stuff that are a little more reasonable, and play games he might enjoy watching. So I think that's going to be our little project for tonight. Like Warcraft and painting minis with the oil paints. Yeah, no, not the oil paints. Ooh, man. The pixelated Apollo thing's funny though, because he basically like went after another big Total War YouTuber and called him a shill for Creative Assembly, the company that makes Total War games. And the Monument Hobbies only, yeah. And it's funny because the YouTuber, if anybody knows who it is, that he's like calling out is like the opposite of it. She's been blacklisted by the company twice and like all this stuff, and he's like the opposite of a shill for the company. But he was taking videos and like editing them and like cutting up this dude's phrases to make him sound like he's saying specific things. And everybody's calling the guy out. He's like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing here? You know, and he was doing stuff like he would talk about like how bad this other dude is for saying these things, that he's, you know, taking statements out of context and like chopping up and everything. Don't worry about the purple skeletons. You let me worry about blank, okay? We're not talking about purple skeletons yet. But he would talk about it. He would like, oh yeah, and he said this, and then he would just play it, like show an image of like the Creative Assembly logo on like a pride flag. Like that's a thing to show that someone's bad or whatever. Like that's the kind of stuff he does. I was like, man, I remember when this dude was just like, just cool, like weirdo playing Total War games. Yeah, that was just, I don't get what happens to people. All right, Raja, good luck at work. Oh, just say something nasty. Yeah. Was it about Monument Hobbies? Is that what it was? We're putting down some magenta as a base under the under this, so. That's all good, Wandering Pig. That's cool. I think I'm going to call it here in a minute. I'm going to do one more coat of magenta on here, and then tomorrow I think we're going to start off and we're going to get I think we're going to start with the trim colors on his body, on his person, and then we'll we can do some skin and everything. But we're just getting a couple of these other colors. I could do that, but yeah, the trim. We gotta go back with the silver on a lot of the trim, and then we'll come back and get to our gold and everything. Twitch had a panic attack, yeah. The internet's scary, guys. Be careful out there. Don't trust random painting streamers trying to sell you insurance. Yeah, and I think varnishing this with a satin varnish will look really good too. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Always have your towel, right? And guys, again, if you want to listen to, we had a shorter podcast, Zendro and I, that we posted last night on Patreon. Free or paid members have access to. Thanks, Zen. Thanks. You can go listen to it. It's about half an hour, and it's just us talking about the Heresy website, and we just went through all the different items and talked about what they could be. There's some useful insight in there, but it's all irrelevant at this point because now it's the whole thing was shown off. But we're gonna do another. I think I want to talk about the actual box contents, and then I want to talk about rules. Those are things I want to talk about, potential rules, and speculate on that. So I think that's what we're gonna do soon. But those are gonna be on Patreon. Like I said, free or paid member. Yes, Culture American. This is Zen's model. Yep, it's gonna go to him. He's gonna have Conrad Kurz. We're gonna get Zen like 5,000 points of Night Lords by the end of summer, guys, and we're gonna do Apocalypse game. It's gonna be terrifying because, well, it's gonna be new rules. Oh, Thousand Suns might be good again. They could be good again. I built it. Yep, this is when I assembled. He saw the each individual lightning claw was its own piece, and he passed that thing along to me. He said no thanks. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Ghost. By the time you're out here, man, it'll be 3rd edition. And if 3rd edition's really bad, we'll just play 2nd edition, and we'll just ignore 3rd edition, act like it never happened. Yeah, that jerk. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was having a panic attack while I was assembling this thing on stream. He was like, "I'm so sorry." Yeah, that's just what you get when you assemble Primarchs, though. I got Purdy coming up. Purdy's gonna be he's probably gonna have his own issues. Just in this for the plastic. Yeah, exactly. No, Zen, you're 100% right. No, I would not want you to give this to me assembled. No, because assembly, yeah. Yeah, making me assemble the individual lightning claws. I had to heat those up and unwarp them and everything. These little tiny pieces. Look how little these lightning claws are. The nightmare. This mini wasn't half as bad as Magnus, though. The magenta, good. You're gonna suffer for the next day or the next week or whatever with this. That's what's gonna happen. Zen, I do want to tell you, your transfers, you know, the order I put in with all the transfers, it's supposed to be delivered on May 21st. I'm out of town on May 22nd is my son's last day of school. He has a half day at school, and then May 23rd I'm leaving. So I'm out for the weekend. Suffering curs who wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the undertone for the skin. That's all it is. Yeah, I'll show you here in a second. Armies don't know what the different. Oh, don't get me started on SBG, please. I'm having a good day. I don't need to think about SVG right now. Oh, okay. Well, the fact that you do burgundy makes me feel better about doing magenta here, because they're very similar. So it'll have a really similar look. But there's gonna be a lot of build up on it and everything. Yeah, I do like the combat troll for the Thousand Suns. Yep, it is cool looking. So cape, this is my basic cape here. We did see the magenta base coat, and then I did warm flesh. Obviously there's going to be a lot of work, and there's an actual cape underneath the shreds of skin here. So there is a lot of work to do on the cape, but I do have a cape started, and there is magenta, because I think that most of this underpiece is actually a red cape. Like you can see, this is actually a cape underneath. He literally just like stapled skin pieces to the cape. This dude's doing arts and crafts in his free time with skin. I don't understand. Hey, Misfit, what's going on, man? You're catching me right at the tail end here. You made an entire room out of flesh. What did you think he was going to do with the cape? That's true. Just woke up. Oh, nice. Did you see Misfit? Did you see the news? Go look in the rumors page. He's a wall of screams. That's true. Yeah, he's just like a kid that's bored that just like starts like pulling with the wings off of flies or whatever for fun. Like that's Kurz personified. He's just like that taken to Warhammer levels, right? Yeah, big news, dude. Big news. A psychopath. Yeah, that's what you would call that. Yeah, a psychopath. And Zen, this is the base coat on the base here. I used drab brown as the base coat. I'll definitely build it up a lot, but I wanted like a darker base coat. And I don't know how you feel about this, Zen, but the servitors here, I am going to paint in Zhao Arcad colors. Mainly because that's Thousand Suns adjacent, and so you can have your dead Thousand Suns stuff on your base. Yep. Thank you. Gazoon-tight, right? And the other reason is so I can see what it looks like on painting it on some minis. Zhao Arcad. Yeah, Saturnine Leak. Yep. So that's that base, and then here's his the other piece, and then there's a third piece that magnetizes around. So yeah, I'm happy with how the sand worked out. I ended up adding more sand into some of these places, and it seemed to have worked out really well with the actual spots where it is. So I'm excited. This mini's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good. The blue's already looking good, so I'm excited. I got some color on the mini. And we'll probably do more with the blue eventually, but it's a really nice color. Yep, painting Kurz. All right, guys. We're gonna find someone to raid out. That's what we're gonna do. Yes, let's find somebody here. We got Glorious Badger. What's he painting? Signum Games. One's painting Imperial Fists. What blue is that? So these are some silvers, some mainly Vallejo metal colors. Highlighted up, and then I use transparent blue, Procro transparent blue. Yeah. Who are we raiding? Let's find someone. You can raid Zambies. Is she painting a dog? He is painting a dog. Let's go raid zombies. Dog sounds like fun. Get that. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. I will be back on tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we're going to continue with Kurz. So, yeah, guys, don't forget to jump in, say hi, give a follow to Zambies, you know, all that normal stuff. And, yeah, you guys have a wonderful day. And hopefully there's some more news for Heresy that we can talk about tomorrow. All right. Bye, everybody.